Welcome back, Falcon Radio fans. We're your hosts, Daniel and Gianni.
It has been a long time since our last radio hour, and boy, do we have a lot to catch up on. Our year in review is coming soon, but here at Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Academy, we want to make sure that we honor our fellow patriots and soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom by broadcasting a dedicated Memorial Day episode.
During today's broadcast, you will hear classic and original stories, songs and poetry about men and women who served to make our beloved America the land of the free and home of the brave.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy our salute to those who have come before.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Wow, thank you, Bella. That was beautiful.
Bella sang for us a selection from the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which was composed in 1850 by abolitionist Julia Ward Howe. Another famous abolitionist of the 1800s was America's greatest poet, the wild, wandering, barbaric Walt Whitman.
Uncle Walt penned so many of our country's best poems, no one could hear America singing quite like he could.
O Captain, My Captain is a poem written by Walt Whitman in 1865 about the death of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. Well received upon publication, the poem was Whitman's first to be anthologized and the most popular during his lifetime.
During the American Civil War, Whitman moved to Washington, D.C., where he volunteered as a nurse for the Union Army. Although he never met Lincoln, Whitman loved him truly and was greatly moved by the president's assassination.
My Captain was first published in the Saturday Press on November 4th, 1865.
O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting.
But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead.
O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung. For you the bugle trills. For you bouquets and ribboned wreaths. For you the shores are crowding. For you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning.
Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead.
My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored, safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes with an object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells! But I, with mournful tread, walk the deck, my captain lies, fallen cold and dead.
And now, the 4th and 5th grade drama class has something special for you.
With a little help from selected 7th graders and a special guest star, on the morning of his assassination, April 14th, 1865, President Lincoln was haunted by a dream from the night before.
He told his cabinet members what he had seen himself. In an indescribable vessel moving rapidly toward an indistinctive shore.
In fact, this is a dream President had had several times before, often before a momentous event.
The following story is inspired by true stories and White House trivia. It is an affectionate ode to our most celebrated president and the nation he shaped.
Abe Lincoln's Dream by 4th and 5th grade.
Did you know that some people suspect that Lincoln's bedroom in the White House is haunted?
Actually, a lot of people have suspected that Lincoln's bedroom is haunted, and even animals have tended to agree.
It's true. So many of the first family's pets would bristle when traveling past the bedroom. Franklin Roosevelt's terrier Fala would refuse to enter that room. Lyndon Johnson's mutt Yuki would whimper outside its door. Ronald Reagan's spaniel Rex would drive the occupants of the White House crazy with his loud barking at Lincoln's bedroom, even though he was a perfectly behaved pooch everywhere else in the house.
Some people who would come and visit swear they saw the ghost every 12th of February. But take this with a grain of salt. February 12th is Lincoln's birthday and is a very popular day for tours, especially school tours of the White House. And on that day, nearly every student who toured the White House would be wearing stovepipe hats. So, who could really say?
This story takes place during one such President's Day tour of the White House when a little girl named Sammy wandered from her group. Sandy started walking the halls of the White House by herself and was about to pass the open door of a room no presidential pet would ever enter when she discovered a tall man standing over a framed copy of the Gettysburg Address.
She decided to call out to him. "Hi there."
Oh, why, hello, child.
He was dressed in black from head to boot, but Sammy was not frightened. He had a long face that made him feel sorry for him.
Are you lost?
Me? Oh, no, I don't think so.
That's when the tall man walked right through the wall. Sammy realized there and then that this must be the ghost of Abraham Lincoln she was walking to. Still, she wasn't frightened at all. She ran into the next room to talk some more with the 16th president.
You look confused.
Why, I'm as right as rain.
You sure about that?
Well, not really. No, I guess maybe ghosts are no good at telling fibs. You can see right through many of them.
Oof, that's a very corny joke.
Lincoln smiled kindly upon the little girl. It had been a long time since he had anyone to talk to, anybody who really wanted to listen. He decided he liked the little girl and would trust her.
Well, you see, the truth is, I'm feeling a little bit haunted.
How does that work? Who could be haunting a ghost?
No, I'm being haunted by a dream. A very upsetting dream.
Ghosts sleep?
Indeed we do. And last night I had such a dream that I've had over and over. It's always the same. I'm on a strange ship, sailing rapidly through a restless and tumultuous sea. I'm heading for some shore, I know not where.
Wow. In my nightmares, I'm usually in class and have forgotten all of my homework. Totally embarrassing.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. That's a very common dream.
The president tried to reassure the girl.
Very common. Like the dream where bears have gotten you in your cabin.
The little girl looked up at Lincoln.
I don't think I've had that particular nightmare.
Now that's unusual.
The 16th president paced the floor on the room, then headed out into the hallway. Lincoln's stride was very long, and little Sammy struggled to keep up.
You're tall.
Sammy was taking 4 steps into his 1.
Hey, do you know how long a man's legs should be?
No.
Long enough to reach the floor.
Sammy thought that joke was even cornier than the last, but still, it made her laugh.
The two of them continued their way through the various hallways and rooms, including secret passageways and nooks unknown for the public. For Sammy, it was quite an adventure. For Honest Abe, it was a welcome break for centuries-long trudge. The little girl who listened so well provided him measure of comfort amid his wayfaring.
As if I appear restless, but you see, there was just so much to do beyond 1865.
Sheesh! Is that how long you've been here?
It was on April 15th, 1865, when Abraham Lincoln departed his life. The Civil War has just ended, and victory for the Union, and slavery was finally outlawed for good in the United States of America.
Lincoln had left America as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So why was his spirit so restless?
Our Union was so fragile, so uncertain. It was like that ship on the rocky sea.
Sammy paused in her step for a moment. She decided that she was no longer going to follow the tall man in black. The man with his sad face and kind eyes. No, she said she had a better idea.
Sammy took hold of the spirit's hand and began to lead him for a change.
What are you doing?
With all due respect, Mr. President, I think your ship needs a captain.
She led him to the front door and outside.
Oh, no, I never leave the executive mansion.
You should. A lot has changed since 1865, including the name of the executive mansion. We just call it the White House now.
Despite Lincoln's initial protest, the girl managed to lead the president down the steps of the White House and into the front lawn.
Just as soon as their feet touched the grass, the pair were immediately lifted into the air.
It's true. Lincoln found that as a ghost, he was able to fly. So as long as Sammy held tight to Lincoln's hand, she was able to fly with him.
They zoomed around the top of the Washington Monument. They hovered over the Smithsonian. They even took an aerial tour of the National Zoo.
When they came above the Lincoln Memorial and the ghost of the president saw his words, immortalized, carved in stone, both remembered, made new for all ages.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent as a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
With malice towards none, with charity for all.
Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith, let us dare to do our duty as we understand it.
A tear welled up in his eye and his heart filled.
On the pair went to Washington, D.C., and then to visit more of America.
The ghost did the flying. The girl answered the questions.
Are the states united? Did that work out?
The pair soared over Shenandoah Valley near Harper's Ferry.
Yes, that worked out fine.
That nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure.
And equality for all?
They circled the crown of the Statue of Liberty, then zoomed to their next golden torch.
That's working out too. It's getting better all the time.
They passed over cornfields, the Great Plains, the swamps of Louisiana, the Badlands of Texas. They saw the Golden Gate Bridge, the Grand Canyon, the thick woods of the Northwest, the frozen majesty of Alaska. They visit Yellowstone National Park. An odd smile swept over Lincoln's face.
Laws change, people die, the land remains.
They paused over more than a few state capitals and houses of legislature.
And man?
Lincoln's voice began to tremble a little.
Does he no longer fuss and fight with his fellow man?
The two had seen an endless sea of American faces by now. Each face was different, unique. Some were angry, some would not look at each other.
We're still working on that one.
It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us.
Sammy and Lincoln headed again towards the east, where the new sun was dawning over the mighty Atlantic.
But I think overall, the Founding Fathers would be proud of our progress, don't you?
Lincoln's smile returned.
Why, I think that would be over the moon.
Sammy's face filled up with excitement.
Over the moon. Yes, there's one more thing I want to show you.
The little girl and the president soared higher and higher through the sky, through the air, through the clouds. They soared through the atmosphere and into outer space.
They passed satellites, a space station, and went straight to the moon. The little girl pointed with her outstretched arm to something planted on that lunar soil.
The two of them beheld in all its glory the American flag.
My stars, we have come a long way. 3 cheers and ballyhoo!
Lincoln and Sammy headed back to Earth. They headed to Sammy's hometown and then to her bedroom window. Sammy stepped down onto the balcony outside her room, and she gently let go of Abraham's hand.
Thank you for bringing me home safely. I'm sure my parents will start to worry if I don't go inside now.
You are very welcome. And thank you for taking me on this grand tour of our country. You, my dear child, have made all the difference.
Sammy knew that she would never, ever forget the day she spent with the spirit of Abraham Lincoln. She watched his vision begin to slowly disappear into the evening air. She felt compelled to call out to him one final time.
Mr. President!
Yes?
Mr. President, knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you feeling better now?
Lincoln chuckled.
My, that was a very corny joke.
Then the president was gone. That night, Sammy had a dream. She dreamed of a tall man in black. He was standing on a boat. The boat was moving rapidly towards the rising sun.
The man was smiling.
Good job, all drama students. And a special thank you to Mr. Steele. Who knew our principal could be so presidential?
And now, we've reached the end of our show, but before we go, we have one more performance to offer you. Taps was first played at Harrison's Landing, Virginia in July of 1862. Within 9 months, it was adopted by both the Union and Confederate troops.
In 1891, taps became a standard component of U.S. military funerals. Fatima students and brothers Max, Eric, and Shane will sing this song for you next while accompanying themselves with the guitar. This is Daniel and Gianni signing off for Falcon Radio. Happy Memorial Day. God bless America. God bless all who have served our country.
On the side, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky.